We're on.
All right. Okay, so welcome to Between the Lines. All right. We're going to start it off like that. So, this will be our first episode, and I'm going to ask for a favor right away, and that is like and subscribe. Hit bell notifications because we're going to roll this shit out and it's going to make it happen. So, we're going to cover some issues like environmental, health, news, and finance. We'll either cover all those per episode or one or two per episode, and I can say that today we're gonna probably fire it off with something that is a little bit shocking to some of you, but I'm not shocked at all. So Gina, let's just open this thing up with what kind of crap did Liberty Safe do to their customer?
Did we say this was the first podcast?
We did.
Okay.
We did
I
say,
missed that
and
part.
we said, I think we said between the lines too, so we're all set.
I heard that one. All right. So first on the news part, we have Liberty Safe. Liberty Safe facing massive boycott because they thought it would be cool to give the FBI in that other letter a passcode to one of their customer safes when they were being falsely prosecuted over J6. Nathan Hughes from Fayetteville, Arkansas, was raided by the FBI in that other letter and held at gunpoint even. So was his girlfriend who had just miscarried. She was arrested and handcuffed. So the FBI and that other letter turned off his security cameras, unplugged his internet, which tells you something. If you have a lot of electronics in your house, they decided to turn those off before they tore his house apart.
Interesting.
Yeah. So they were in his house called Liberty Gun Safe, and Liberty Gun Safe right away gave them his passcode for protesting.
To get in the safe.
To get in his safe.
So I wonder if they actually had a warrant for that particular thing. Because, there's a few things you should probably start reading and really understanding. You might want to grab one of your state. I know this is going to be backwards on there, so it's Indiana. And then my other state, Alabama. And I did notice this one's a lot thicker.
So that was the Constitution of your state?
Yeah, the Constitution, the federal Constitution and the Constitution of your state. Really the most important parts of the Bill of Rights. Know them, and know them. Read them, understand them. And don't let anybody tell you that some other frivolous legal law, not lawful law, trumps any of the rights. So I guess that's how we're starting.
That's a part of reading between the lines. Even though you're told things, doesn't mean they're actually right. Even people of authority don't really know the real rights of the people because they haven't learned them themselves.
That's true. I noticed that on the last, I say the last because there's another one coming up. The last issue that we had a couple of years ago with, throwing on masks and following all these new regulations and mandates. So, yeah, just the word mandate, I don't know. That just seems off to me to begin with. But the thing with a mandate, it's literally an offer. It's an offer. But for some reason, we all believe that a mandate is something you absolutely have to do and is a law. I mean, it's like our educational system. I always want to say that it failed, but it actually did exactly what it's intended to do, and that's to teach you to follow the rules of some perceived authority. And the reality is you, the individual, the sovereign individual, is the authority. I mean, you're a creation of God. So besides God, it's you. So these mandates, I guess they're creeping back in. And I just want you to know that it's an offer. And if you choose to give up your rights, which is something that you were born with, hey, man, that's on you. But I can tell you the rest of us don't like it. I realized last time it was the other way around. The non-mask wearers were supposedly the bad people. But it turns out those people were right. Again, don't give up your rights. understand what a mandate is, understand what the larger agenda is. So, Gina, what are you hearing on the? And I'm sure some of you already heard some of this, but what are you hearing on masks? What's going on?
Well, so yeah, that brings up the next subject we were going to talk about, were the mask mandates that are coming up again. You're starting to see schools closed across the country, which is really sad because they're really doing some damage to kids, their thought process. They're stressing them out, besides the damage they're doing to their body by making them wear a mask, which is ridiculous.
Hold on, I got to jump in on this. It might be doing more damage to the kids sending them to the damn school. I'm still trying to figure that out. Why is that still going on? Are they teaching them your values? I mean, if they are, hey, by all means, jump in. Go ahead, Gina. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Again, where's our knowledge about masks? Have you actually looked at it, into the information yourself, or are you just watching the news, hearing what they say? Because bureaucrats basically are following political science. They're following the agenda of the people that want you to wear the mask.
Aren't they just following what they get paid to follow? Literally,
right.
literally.
Yeah, the agenda.
Because the last time, what literally happened was the schools, the local governments, they all got paid if they implemented the mask bullshit. They got paid. They got paid with, our debt obligations,
right.
so that you can pay more taxes.
Public schools
to
never
enslave
want to give
yourself.
up that money.
No. As soon as they offer them,
Yeah.
hey, if you implement these particular protocols, then you're going to get this grant. We're going to give you money, and it's free.
Or we'll take away money. We'll take away.
Yeah, or
funds.
we'll take it away. And so they fall right in line because that's what they do. They don't think about the larger picture of what they might have been teaching some history, and maybe they forgot a few things, and why you don't sell out yourself and your country.
Or your kids.
Maybe don't do that. Maybe look at the kids and say, oh,
allowing them to push the mask.
I'm not sure this is a good thing, But unfortunately, we have some of the lowest IQ people and the lowest scumbags running most of our systems now. And I get it. I understand why, because the average person, and I'm not saying average, I guess, the normal person, they just want to do their thing in life, do their thing with their family, build their particular future, and they don't want to be in charge of people and tell people what to do. But for some reason, the lowest among us, they jump right in. They want in on that shit. Now, there are exceptions, okay? If you're one of those exceptions, hey, don't take offense. But if you're one of those people, you wouldn't take offense on that either anyways, because you know what I'm saying. But that's what we got running things from the top to the bottom. So these people are going to jump on board and say, yeah, man, we want some more money, man. We want some more money, and put this mask on this kid and scare the shit out of him the whole time we're here. And let's just forget about actually teaching him anything that's valuable in life. Let's teach him how to operate under this system. And that's all we've got going on right now. So I'm a little confused on the school thing. Maybe you guys can comment. And why you think it's still important to send your kids to this situation, or why you think you need to or don't need to, positive or negative. And we'll take the feedback.
And also, there's about 50 years of science that confirms masks do not work. You just have to go look for that science. Look and see who wrote that article or that science, and see if they have an agenda, or if they work under someone. Or if they're getting paid to write that article, because it's going to sway it. That's where we are in America, that people are writing things to sway things a certain way, or to get you to buy something. Some of the causes of wearing masks can cause lung cancer, which is probably the materials that you're breathing into your lungs.
Oh, no doubt. What was it? It was treated with ethylene oxide. And, it's not hidden. You can look it up. Do you want to breathe in ethylene oxide? And by the way, that was on the little swabs that you guys allowed them to shove up in your sinus cavity, ethylene oxide. They could have used lots of other regular alcohol to sterilize it, but for some reason they chose ethylene oxide. Maybe look that up and just kind of figure out that, should I have shoved that up my nose, and should I be breathing through something that I'm constantly inhaling that, and I'm not getting rid of my waste. Because you're supposed to get rid of waste in your body, and that's what your exhaling is. But by all means, keep wearing those.
Do you
And
think
don't,
our first video will get played?
oh, I don't know. I'm not sure at all. I don't know if it's going to get played or not. But
high CO2 level. So you want to breathe? You're breathing in.
yeah,
your own.
you want high CO2 levels. Now, keep in mind, the CO2 is actually very beneficial for plants. Like super. I mean, we literally pump it into greenhouses to make the plants grow a lot more vigorously. So for plants, it's great. But if you're us, you're breathing in oxygen. That's primarily what we need. So go ahead, Gina.
The funny thing is, and I always saw this with people that wear the mask. And if you're doing this, please stop. Because if it's a real pandemic and these masks are helping you, you would not hang your mask on your mirror in your cars. You would not pull them out of your pockets to put them on. You wouldn't take a mask off at the store. You're touching it when you touch the carts and everything in the stores, and you're putting it in your pocket or on your mirror, and then you're going to put it back on your face. Those germs are all over it. If it was a real pandemic that was killing people, for one, they'd be dying on the streets or on the front porches or in their yards. You would have to take those masks off in a confined, what word am I looking for?
Confined space.
Confined space where you're not going to transfer these germs. You're going to put
like
this mask in the waste. You would never reuse it. So it's just so laughable when you see how people pull masks out of their pockets or off their car mirror and reuse the same mask over and over and over. And you would never take those in your home to wash in your washing machine because you'd be transporting that virus all over your house.
Hold on now. You know what I realized when this whole thing shot off? The first few days, we're like, oh, hold on, man. Let's see what's up, And but trust me, I trust everything that the news tells me. So after a few days, I get thinking about it. And I don't know if any of you have ever served, but you have training in chemical and biologicals. So if you actually knew what your training was, then throwing cloth on your face for what they were saying was going on, like you actually know that that's going to do literally nothing. So if you played along with that, then you're a dumbass, okay? And I ran into some other service members that was the case. I had a very in-depth argument with one at a restaurant because he told me I needed to put one on. I said, I don't wear one. I said, I know that they don't work, and I told him why. And he's like, well, yeah, I was in the Navy. I know. Yeah, I served too. I was in Desert Storm. I said, but yeah, you're following this, right? So, come on, man. Don't fall in line with this stuff.
The second time is going to be even worse if people fall through. So we need to learn how to say the word no. It might be hard for you for the first time if you're afraid of confrontation with someone. But fight for your kids and your grandkids and the rest of your family. Just say, no, I'm not going to wear one. We never wore one the last time. We still shopped. We still did what we needed to do. And if there was a couple stores that wouldn't let us in, or they told us we couldn't come in, so we left. We didn't shop there.
Yeah, we told them to F off. Honestly, just F off. We don't need to give you our money. You go ahead and file for your grants, to implement this BS and see how that works out for you in the end. Because it's not. Just
say no to the mask wearing. It's not that difficult.
Yeah, it's not. So what's next, Gina?
I think you had something.
What do I have?
Your environmental.
Oh yeah. Okay, well, I got some pet peeves on health and environment. So these two things dovetail together, and this is one of my biggest pet peeves. And it's not because of me in particular, but it's because of all of us. It's literally because of all of us, and everything that surrounds us. So for quite some time now, I guess I should have looked and seen how many years, but I've been screaming from the rooftops on this for a long time. We started adding neonicotinoids to our grains. So it's on the grain seeds. Currently, the two that I know of, and they may be putting it on wheat by now. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. They probably are, but I know for sure they're putting it on corn and soybeans. Okay, so this is going into your mouth, into your kid's mouth. It's going into the animal feed. So neonicotinoids is a neurotoxin. Okay, I'll repeat that. It's a neurotoxin, and it's long-lived and hangs around for a long time. It's not easily destroyed. But you may have heard of the bee-killing insecticide. This is it. This is what I'm talking about. So it's systemic, and what that means is it goes throughout the plant. So it's in the entire plant, and that's why it works to kill bugs, okay? And it's in the grain. So you're constantly eating this, unless you're eating organic food, chemical-free food, or you're growing your own and it's chemical-free. You are literally eating a neurotoxin, okay? And you might think, oh, hell, wait, I've been doing that and I'm fine. Are you fine? How many of you, and you can comment below, are on a medication? Because I drive by CVS and Walgreens, and what do we see, Gina?
Lines like
Just
like McDonald's, which is another food that
effing lines, like
you don't want
I
to
don't
eat,
care
or
what-
you'll be on
I
medication.
don't care what town we're in.
Put in the comments a number, the amount of medicines you're on. 5
Hold on.
medications, 2 medications. I just want to see
I want
the
to
numbers.
understand this. We've all been trained to say medications or medicine,
Drugs.
drugs. How many petrochemical drugs have you been prescribed? And then say below, how many are you on? And are you better? Does it make any better, or do you have to take more and more and more? So you're thinking none of this is affecting you, but just simple logic. Okay, it kills the bugs. They eat it, it kills them. Okay, it kills them pretty fast because they're small. You're larger. Okay, over the processing, it gets broke down a little bit, but it's in all the food, every bit of it. That's been treated with it. And then you are chronically taking it in. So there's a couple different types of toxicities. There's acute toxicity. That's when oh man, I screwed up. Something got me. Immediately, you get sick immediately. There's no question in your mind that something happened. And then chronic is when you're constantly taking something in, and then over time, you think it's probably just age, or the doctor's going to tell you, oh, it's your genetics. It's your genetics. You inherited this. And you're going, oh, okay, yeah, because he's got he looks official and shit. I get it. And he's practicing medicine. And
Practicing.
Yeah. And, some doctors are great, man. I've definitely ran into some smart ones. And they're not just the guy that's just going to repeat what the pharmaceutical rep told them. There's some great ones. But for the majority of them, they nutritional wise, they're no effing clue. None. And it's sad, but they literally don't get trained to do that. And then they're constantly working long hours, and their information they've been given is from, the sources that want them to sell what you're taking in. So just as an example, and this will be like a multi-series things, because all of these things accumulate, just like I was saying a moment ago with chronic. Okay, so Parkinson's, okay, for instance, previously were about 60,000 people per year were being diagnosed with Parkinson's, and that's a neurological disorder. Now, surely there's no connection between a neurological disorder and eating stuff that attacks the nervous system. But, you be the judge. So now we're on average at 90,000 people per year, every year, are being diagnosed with that. And somehow, I guess this is just some kind of genetic freak thing. It's not what we're eating, it's not what we're exposed to. It's literally genetics, according to the doctor. Gina, what do you got?
The last thing we were going to talk about financial We're coming to the limit on our video, so we can walk through this quickly. But, you know, with the cost of everything's on the rise and the job losses going on around the country, maybe shoot out some information on an area we could help people.
I'd say the biggest thing is, you know, getting your, maybe one of the first things you can do is on your W-2 is increase your deduction by at least one. There's one tip right there that you could do, and then see how that goes. I mean, most people are going to be absolutely fine. You know, check with an accountant if that makes you feel better, but I'm telling you, you're just giving your money away. So we're going to have to wrap this up.
Yeah,
we're
so
at the
feel
end.
free to email us what's going on in your area, or comment below, or send us questions at the letter B, the lines news @gmail.com. You can support our channel, please, by sharing and subscribing this. We're new, so we're trying to get it out there quick. View our links below.
And then, hey, man, be the line. All right?
Yeah.
Be the line.
Be the line. Have a great day.
Later.